Are you in a situation where you need more money? Are you trying to save $10,000? Are you trying to save for a down payment? Are you trying to build an emergency fund? Do you just want some money to breathe, or you're trying to invest in some type of business or something, a skill for yourself? I'm going to be sharing 4 easy tips on how to build and get $10,000 fast. Let's get into it. Right, so the first thing that you can do is to evaluate where you currently are. In order to get somewhere new, you have to just see where you currently are with a fitness goal, with a financial goal, anything. Where are you currently? Take those measurements, see where you are. So with your finances, how much money do you bring in? How much money are you spending? Go deep dive into your bank accounts. Go look at your expenses, how much money, and write it down. Or a lot of banks actually track and have a nice, beautiful graph for you that shows you where you spent your money or where you didn't. Go print it out, highlight it, and see what are you spending money on, what is necessary, and how much money you actually bring in. So know those numbers, figure out how much money you actually bring in a month, figure out what you're spending and what's going out, and then how much is being kept. This is key. This is the first step. You have to know how much is coming in and what's going out. When you highlight, I do recommend going through, highlight the numbers, circle, and identify and go, ooh, I knew I did that. I knew that I spent and went to Target like 20 times. I know that I did that. Or, oh, I didn't realize I had that subscription. Or wait, we're spending how much on groceries? It's very illuminating. And so sometimes we actually have more money. That's what I'm trying to get here, is that you might make enough money. So we need to decide, is it an income problem or is it a spending problem? And so maybe you have enough money, but you're choosing to spend money on things that aren't helping you with your goals. And then that money that maybe you need to spend money on all this stuff or this food, or you're okay with this hobby, or you have a car payment or whatever, but maybe there's other stuff that you're like, I don't want to spend money on that. I would rather put it towards the $10,000 that I'm trying to save up, or for whatever I am trying to save up for. So take a look at the numbers, dive into it. I know it can be super uncomfortable, but it's one of the best things that you can do, especially if you're married, you have a partner, get on the same page, look at it together, and then go through and see, where can you cut back? Is it a cutting back issue? And then from there, we can decide and determine if you need to make more. Take a look at those numbers. Right, so maybe you determine that you do need to cut back a little bit. And so that's part of it. You need to decide, how much do you want to pull from your budget? How much do you want to pay yourself first with? That is key. So one of the best things you can do is determine, how much extra money do we have? Am I paying myself first? Oh, hey, we have an extra $200. Let's go ahead and pay ourselves first with the current money that we already have. And so cut that out, cancel those subscriptions, whatever you need to do, and just decide, hey, I'm going to pay myself this amount of money, $200, $500, $1,000, whatever it is, every single paycheck. And then it's going to automatically go into the account. So you need to automate your finances. And so that means you can set it up on a schedule. Just like with YouTube, I don't just sit there and go, oh, it's 6 a.m. I post. I automate it. So I make the video, I schedule it, and it automatically will post at 6 a.m. every single day. And so you need to do that with your finances. So you set it, forget it. I'm going to pay myself $500 a month no matter what. And then whatever I have left over is what I'm going to spend. Because sometimes we see the money, and so we think we have it, and it's like, all right, let's spend it. But really, pay yourself first, set it, forget it, don't even see that or think about it, and then use the rest of your money to budget. And a lot of times, for most people, you'll still be able to make your payments. So do the numbers, run the numbers, and see how much money you actually need, and then decide a predetermined amount of money that you can invest in your 401k, in a Roth IRA, or something of that nature. Exercise you can do to decide this, because sometimes it's hard. It's like, it might be very clear and obvious, and you're like, whoa, I can't believe I was spending that much money on this thing, or oh my gosh, like, what are we doing? And it could be obvious, but for some people it's hard, and it's like, well, I don't know where to cut back money, and I don't know, I really want all of it. And so you have to decide that your goals are bigger, and where you currently are, you're not exactly where you want to get, and that's okay, but you do have to make some sacrifices. And so a great tool is to decide what you value. Go with your values. So if you really value health, maybe you invest more in, hey, I'm going to spend that $10 a month on Planet Fitness and go to the gym, or I'm going to buy a couple dumbbells to bring to our house, or with our kids, you know what, if they want to do a sport, I will allow them to do at least one sport. And if it costs a couple $100, that's where we're going to invest in. Or with our healthy food, that's your choice. Or say, you know what, I don't really care as much about entertainment. Like there's a lot of free things that we can do that are in our community, or we can go have movie nights at home. We don't need to go to the movies, maybe cut back on entertainment. So decide what you value and what you want and what you actually want to spend money on, because sometimes we spend money on things that we really don't care about. And that is where you can look and go, okay, what are my values? What do I really, really want to make sure I can do? And if your budget allows, then try to spend according to your values if you can. And that will help to determine, you know what, this is nice, but this could be a later thing. Let's go ahead and get rid of it and focus on this. So number 3, once you've already looked at what numbers you have and what's coming in, determining if you need to cut back a little bit, determining if you need to pay yourself first and put that money towards yourself. Then after we've done that, after we've cut back where we need to, we've invested as much as we can, then you want to start learning and figuring out, how can you make more? How can you make more money? What skills do you currently have? Can you leverage current skills? Can you ask for a promotion? Can you switch jobs if that's not going to work? And so this is critical. A lot of people, if you have a certain skill, they make more money by switching to a different job. And so consider that. But if you really like where you are, talk to your boss, come up with a plan, track down what you actually do and write down all the value you've brought to this company, or say, hey, if I do this and I bring this amount of revenue to the company, could I get a portion of that? Or would it be reasonable to get a raise? So always, you have to have the discussion. A lot of times the boss isn't going to just bring you the money or give you the raise. A lot of times you do have the annual reviews where they talk about this, but go sooner and ask if they have time, bring it in, make it super clear, and then ask. And then if they're not willing to, based on, if it's not like just say, can I have a raise? And they say no, right? That might not be the best way to do it. But if you provide a proposal and you actually are going to bring value or more money to the company, or you've been doing a great job and have done certain trainings for 2 years, etc., you should be able to get more. If not, then start looking somewhere else for that same skill, that same job. You're more likely to get paid. So that is a great thing to do with your current skills. Another thing is to look at your skills that you don't even have. Where are those high income skills? What skills do you want to hone in on? Where do you think, what industry could you go do? What side hustle could you go into? Could you leverage another skill? And so start getting creative on how you can make more, right? We can figure out what we have with the money that we have and figure out what to do with it. We can go ahead and save and invest, but at some point you do need to make more. So definitely look into making more. And lastly, number 4, once you've done all this, avoid new debt. And so debt is a huge thing, or avoid additional spending that's unnecessary. And so start budgeting, or at least tracking and being aware. And so a lot of people do this, and they'll really want some nice things, or they're in a certain stage of their life, and then you buy this new thing, or you get in debt for this, and then you get in debt for that. And is it really worth it to you? I wish I would have done that when I was younger and said, is this really worth it? Maybe not. And so start asking yourself those questions and be really, really intentional. It's a big problem for a lot of people in credit card debts and things of that nature. I could do a video on that if you're interested, but really, really try to avoid that because it will only hurt your situation and it will prevent you from being able to save. That's one way I've been able to save so much money and invest, is living below my means and automating those investments, always paying myself first, paying myself as much as I can, and paying myself a lot of our income. That's really, really helped. Putting it in different locations that actually make me money, having my money work for me. All of these things are so critical and key. And then being a conscious spender and being aware of how much things can add up. And so only spending on the things that truly matter. And then having like a fun budget if I need to for, hey, you know what, you can have $100 every month to do whatever you want with. But otherwise, we're sticking to this plan. Lastly, I just want to say that it takes time, intention, and effort. And so if you commit to this, you can make it happen. You could do it in an extreme way. If you want to go through and just look at those steps that I laid out, that's fine. But if you want to just go for it and get after it, figure out what you can sell, figure out what you can get rid of. Can you do hand-me-downs? Can you go shop at thrift stores? Can you see if there's anything free in your community? Can you live really below your means? Because if you're willing to sacrifice for a shorter period of time and really just go, you know what, let's cut out these things or stop paying for these things just for a few months, you'd be so surprised how much money you could rack up. And so be really, really careful and intentional. And always, no matter what, even once you get your $10,000, start thinking about living below your means and paying yourself first. Those two principles, and then making your money work for you, is going to totally transform your life. And so really, really think about those things no matter what. Even once you get your $10,000, I know it will come for you. And I know these things will help you so much. All right, so I hope this video was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments below what you think. If you like videos like this, or if you have any questions, I'd be happy to make another video. Feel free to like and subscribe for more, share with a friend, and I will see you in the next video. Keep learning, working, and growing. You've got this. Keep building wealth for yourself and building that time and that freedom, that potential and opportunity for yourself, your family, and others. I can't wait to see what you do. Bye, guys. You got this.